And now for another episode of Confessions of an Online Psychic. With your host, novelist, filmmaker, and authentic psychic, Dave Thompson.
Hey gang, Dave here. This is episode 25 of Confessions of an Online Psychic, and it wraps up really the first season. And I'll be taking a brief break while I wrap up 2 books and a course that I'm doing here. Now, one book is on Apollo and how to work with him in high magic, and the other is a Furies book. I have a bunch of fans who are going, they're tapping their feet, they're wondering when the next one's going to come out. And so I've got several things lined up for this episode. I had what really can be considered an in-room UFO sighting, and there was a screaming match over at Walmart. And this happened just now, today. And I'm going to start with that, the screaming match. Well, I was over at Walmart earlier today, and I was trying to decide which of the semi-good beer that they had that I wanted. And I heard a woman start to scream. She was losing it. Now, after the incidences in the last few days, my only thought was to go take cover in the back of the store, because this Walmart being here in LA, it doesn't have guns or anything, so I couldn't have gone back there. And never mind what this woman was screaming about, okay? She was angry and she was scared. There was something about somebody who kept following her as she was mad at somebody else. It could have been a mental health issue. I don't know. But here's the thing. It's a symptom of an energy that's hitting our little planet. And it is coming from outside of our solar system. And it acts like an irritant. It's like when your skin itches for no damned good reason. Maybe it's just too dry outside. And it's triggering anger outbursts. Now pair this with what Lisa talked about in her video on remote manipulation, and we're looking at something wild happening. And earlier this week, I was in chat with a student, and she was telling me about how crazy it's gotten where she lives. It's South Florida. And yeah, Florida's always been a little weird. That's where we get the term Florida man. But it's just not Florida, guys. It's everywhere that's doing this. The whole planet is being hit by this energy. I did a live video a month or so ago about what we can do. Now, we can't help the other people, right? We cannot help them because they're in their own little world. They're dealing it with the way they can. But people like us, people who do magic, we know how to deal with this, okay? And you do an energetic grounding. That's just for starters, okay? Use gold energy. No fluffy bunny white light shit, okay? Well, moving on. Now, last week, after I got back from the wedding, I had a weird encounter, and it was in my room. And it brought with it a memory of a previous encounter about a month ago. And then it brought up a dream I had almost 20 years ago. And so today, I just started digging through it. Now, since I've seen this thing, and I think I posted it here about this thing, and then I have to look up the dream. I keep notes on dreams, okay? And here's my notes on the dream I'm talking about. And my dreams are vivid, and they happen, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen later. Well, anyway, the other night I woke up and I saw really what looked like a beam of light on the wall above my bed. And it looked like a tube of light in a scanner or a copier. And here's the thing, it was moving up and down, bouncing up and down, and there was a vapor or a fog or a smoke drifting around it. And that just shook me awake because the first thing in my head was, well, shit, there's a fire. And that got me awake in a hurry. And I snapped on the light, and there was no beam, there was no fog, there was no smoke. And then it dawned on me, dude, I have a smoke detector in the room. It should have gone off. And a few months ago, a similar light appeared with the exception of the fog. And at that time, I thought maybe there was something outside the window. beaming, I could see it. And but then, I can't sleep with a lot of light in my room. And the windows without light blocking, these windows have enough light from the street lights where seriously, you can read. Once all the lights are off, you can still read. It's like it's not dark at all. So I have this black plastic that I put up over the windows. And there's just no way. There's no way a flat slat of light could shoot through that bedroom, through any of the windows, and appear at that spot on the wall. At that level, it'd have to be somebody low shooting a spotlight through the window. But then what about the black plastic? So thinking about this, I went into my temple space, which is where I shoot this, and I went into meditation. And I asked one of the beings I work with to answer this question, and it's still on my mind. And I received the answer to this, that it was a type of probe from an extraterrestrial craft. And I'm like, all right, okay. And I've yet to probe into possibly what may have happened before I saw the light, if there was anything that occurred to me before it. But I asked for the origin, and I was given the race's name. And in English, it roughly comes out to the word Pleiadian. And now to this, I have to refer you to a previous rant episode of mine about my annoyance when somebody refers to the star formation. But the being that I channeled, referred to it as that. And then at that point, it triggered a memory of this dream I'd had. And today I looked it up, okay? And I keep detailed dream notes, especially when it's in my computer. And this one is dated 7/10/04. It was, again, in the summer, approximately 15 years ago. And this one, I'll read it real quick. I'm not going to read everything because there's some real personal crap in here. But I see a jet that's overhead, and it turns onto its side. It's making a circle, and it shifts then into a delta-shaped UFO type craft. And I watch as the bottom opens, and a very small craft emerges and drops down. And it did kind of a leaf floating like that. That was very odd. And at first I was scared. Then I realized, wait a minute, this isn't one of the bad ships, okay? And I turned to run back inside the house with the idea of grabbing my camera. And facing me now is a tall blonde woman. And according to my notes here, she's been in several previous dreams. So I had a bunch of dreams with this woman in it all that time ago. And she tells me to relax, and she pokes me right here as she goes, "It's time for you to wake up." And then she tells me again, that I have to start my work. What is my work? Okay. To me, my work is motion pictures. And it comes to me in this dream that this is someone that I've been with forever. And I was instantly relaxed. I was happy to see her. And we walked and we talked. This is in the dream. And she tells me she wasn't incarnated this lifetime, but set up a situation where she was either able to manifest her physical body or walk into a particular body and then come and locate me. Because something's going on, they didn't have time for her to incarnate and grow up. And, there's always that chance with us humans that free will takes over and she breaks away from the karmic or dharmic path that she set up for herself. It's either that, according to this, it was either that it tried and didn't work. I have a whole other essay about that. It was based upon a dream I had about 4 years after this one. And this woman is able to, in the dream anyway, she's able to manifest physical things in a hurry. Just an entire stack of money was in my hands. And she said that I had to start training people. I had to start awakening people. And that they can't pick whether they awaken. I'm the one that picks whether they awaken. And then I'm talking with some other people, and I'm talking to another woman upstairs in a building, and I'm telling her that her sister was at a certain address. She needed to get over there because she's completely submerged. I'm not sure what I'm talking about. And then I was supposed to be in charge of something, and then I'm to be a leader of leaders. And then I'm back with her, and there's something about doing videos or films in which the films or videos are encoded in such a way as people are thinking they're being entertained. It's being implanted in them that they're going to have to awaken and wake up. And then there's another thing here where I'm at a dinner with a bunch of people, and everybody's relaxed, calm, and peaceful. Many were meditating, several chatting happily. And I was thinking in the dream, it looks like it's kind of a special school that's meant for parents of children that are starting to awaken. And I'm going to put a picture here of my niece who's 18 months old. There's something different with her. She's a special child, and if you look into her eyes, you can see it. Yeah, that's the picture of her now. Her name is Julia. And then there's people who said that they became emotional, that they had felt like they'd wasted their entire life on other stuff, and we had something else to do. Okay? This dream, of course, made a big impact on me. And now, since at that time I did some research, and I found out that yes, there is a race of ETs. They look like they're from Sweden or Norway. They're typically tall, blonde, and lean. And this woman is apparently one of those types of ETs. I'm not sure. And like I said, after that dream, I did a lot of research. And I ran into a gentleman named Billy Meyer. Now, interesting about this guy, he's been in contact with these people for quite a while. He's been given information by them. And he has some of the clearest and most interesting images of UFOs. He's also trashed by other UFO people because they say that his images are so clear they have to be faked. I've run into this before, but I'm looking at them, I'm going, with my ability, both with photography and with being a psychic, I can sort of see that these images, are real. Now, this image that I'm showing you, and now I'm going to show you the second image, looks a lot like what I saw in my bedroom. Now, if you look at it carefully, you'll see how the light is casting a reflection on the ground and reflection on these old cars. And this photograph was taken in the mid-70s with film. It's not something that has been photoshopped. This picture, I first found it 15 years ago online, and I thought it was interesting then. And a lot of people say, no, that's sandwich negatives. I know enough about photography that isn't a sandwich negative. Of course, also this led me to discovery of a group called Cirrus Disclosure, and looking at the videos these guys did, I take away is that the more bizarre the craft, the more likely it's actually ETs, which kind of led me back to that encounter in my bedroom. In this picture is what's called a light ship. It's been photographed by Billy Meyer. And the thing is this looks like exactly what was in my room, okay? Now remember, this is mid-70s. This is film. This is before digital. I got to tell you, there was no way to take a piece of film in 1970, digitize it, and create this. It's just impossible for that time. I was doing photography in the 1970s. Trust me, if I could do something like this, I would have done it. So you guys take a long look at this picture. See how the light is showing up on the cars, okay? And, I've got over 40 years experience as a photographer. I can say this was not altered. It's not a double exposure. It's not two negatives sandwiched together. Because, folks, I've tried that sort of stuff. I've tried to manipulate images in the darkroom. It's not easy, especially to get it to look this good. I need to tell you guys about why I am not happy about any alien encounters, okay? Because in the mid-90s, I was stalked by a type of being called a gray. And again, mid-90s, right? I first saw it when I was napping in my bedroom, and I woke up and I was paralyzed. And there's one of these little fuckers standing next to my bed. I managed to jerk awake, and I chased that thing through my house, and it went out into the backyard and disappeared. And this was in the middle of the day. And then one morning, I had taken my daughter to school, and I went back to sleep because I had this bad habit of staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning working on stuff. And then I get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, get my kid to school, and I come back home and I'll take a nap. I was taking a nap one morning, and one of these things jumped on my bed and started trying to suffocate me by pressing a pillow into my face. All right? I struggled with this little asshole, and suddenly the room filled with a bright light, and this thing, well, released me. And then I chased this little bastard, and this time I had my gun with me. I was going to shoot the little son of a bitch. And then it just vanished, all right? I'm standing there in the middle of my living room, which doubled as a studio. I've got my gun in my underwear, and it's like that, I'm thinking to myself, after shit like that, they haven't done any more encounters like this. And then, I had a dream with the blonde woman approximately 6-7 years later. So my pressing question now is did something else happen the other night? Something that I cannot recall. And I'm thinking maybe if not later tonight, certainly over the next couple of days, I'm going to go into a meditative state with a set of headphones. And I'm going to access the astral and see what I can do to access information. I want to know what this woman means by awaken, okay? And why was I one to help others awake? What's going on with this? What is going on? Dreams I had after this, I was actually choosing people. I would say, you come with me, you have to stay. You come with me, you have to stay. I was turning away other people, and I was accepting only a certain amount. Now, I know I had a spirit encounter when I was 14, 15, and this delayed any further encounters due to the way I reacted at that time. I wasn't old enough to, not react by screaming. And this thing, whatever it was, it stopped me from screaming. And it just said, relax, it's only me. Go back to sleep. So I figure perhaps these guys are slowly testing me to see how I react now to, unexpected incidences, especially while I've been asleep, But after, the mid-90s, I'm real prejudiced against the gray aliens. I'm sure there are those who, that they're good. I know there's some that work with this particular group of ETs. So, and I do pick up that awakening, as what this woman was meaning, is not the same thing as DNA activation. It's not an attunement. This is not this magical, mystical attunement. But, so that way I know what it's not. All right? I just know there's something coming towards me. I'm being guided to the answer, the best that they can get to me. All right. So, it's possible that these beings might be what we also call gods. There's some talk about that that I do know that they are pan-dimensional, meaning they can access parallel universes, parallel dimensions, and travel between those dimensions and use those dimensions to travel to other stars. Reading the material with Billy Meyer, their craft only takes moments to go from here to the moon or to Mars or to outside of our solar system. And when they do that, there's this huge egg-shaped craft where the other craft dock into it. And then the entire huge craft will translate between our dimension and fourth or fifth dimension, and they're across the galaxy. And so, like I said, in the next few days, I'm going to do some meditations. I'm going to access the astral. I'm going to try to see what's going on. If it's what I think it is, then I could get some good information out of Apollo. I can get some good information out of Aphrodite. Everything's good as long as they keep these little gray fuckers away from me. All right. Now, I know many of you are going to tell me that the grays are okay. All right, that's some of them. But let me tell you something. You guys did not have one try to fucking smother you. All right. And these are synthetic beings, and there's two races that I know about that uses them. And I was attacked by one of the races that uses them for nasty stuff. I don't know who these other people are. Are they the ones from Sirius? Are they the ones from Orion? Who are these people? Why are they trying to shut me up? I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Confessions. So that's it for now. This closes Confessions of an Online Psychic Season 1. Season 2, give me a couple of months. I want to finish all these other books and my classes and stuff. Okay, till then, bye. Hey gang, this is a epilogue to the confessions that I recorded a while back and uploading just now. Now, between the time I recorded this episode and now, today, I have managed to make brief contact with the woman in the series of dreams. This is not the first time I've made contact with her. I have, those of you who have it, I have a what's called a high self sanctuary recording, which helps you build that. Well, I use that, and she's often in that sanctuary when she wants to meet with me. And so, when I made contact, she did say that the thing in my room is a probe. And yes, they're a civilization from the area we call the Pleiades. Then she quickly passed along to me some info I am still processing. It's a little difficult to handle. Now, remember in a previous episode, I went on about these far-out psychics and their far-out claims. And this is some seriously far-out stuff that she gave me. Now remember, magic as we do it is a technology. And Arthur C. Clarke has said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Which is why early humans considered these people gods. And for that, I refer you to Chariots of the Gods material. And I hope to have an update soon, but I'm not ready to share this information yet. There's some very important information right now, and I want to make sure I get it correct. So anyway, until season 2, guys, practice safe magic, and I'll talk to you later.